Okay.
So, anyways, he was I said, you know, you're only been an attorney a year or two here. I said, you don't want to ruin your whole career by getting caught with a boatload of pot. And he says, well, how can I defend anybody if I don't know how it actually is? I said, well, Johnny, I said, okay. Well, then we knew this girl named Karen, and Karen begging to go with us. And Karen said she'd cook and she'd clean, and you know, five guys, and we're going, well, what do you think? Should we let her come? And you know, she was friends with three of us, and we said, okay, let's bring her. So she
On
came.
a sailboat.
Yeah, on a sloop, a nice one, 70 foot.
70-foot
Yeah,
sloop.
yeah, it was
Wow.
beautiful. It was beautiful, and we took it down to Colombia, and everything was fine. But along the way, Karen got nicknamed Spike because Karen was leaving my room and going to Johnny's and then on to Bob's, and then I mean she was fucking us all. I mean it was like she was taking care of us all real good. I mean she was like a little prostitute on the boat. But so anyways, we did the load, we came back and everything was fine. We unloaded, everybody went home. A couple weeks later I go into a restaurant and there's Spike and Johnny having dinner. I'm going, what the fuck? Well, I said, hey guys, and why, hey, I said, what y'all doing? Well, we just get together here and had a little dinner. Well, then a couple days later, I saw them drive by together. I'm going, what the fuck? Well, they've been married, you know, 50, 40 years now and got grandbabies, and she turned into the best wife a man could have. She's
Wow.
a nice girl, you know what I mean? She just sowing her wild oats on the boat ride, though, boy. God damn. Yeah. And then, as I said, he ended up robbing a couple dope dealers, taking their shit under pretense he was going to help them in court, and just took their money and, so to say, run. And they turned around and went right to the feds, and that's how he got in trouble.
Wow.
Of course, I think they were watching him anyways because he was dealing with all the gangsters and everything. Him and his brother both represented major gangsters. So. No, well, so, and now Johnny's just being Johnny, wherever he's at. I think he's up in Providence or someplace.
Was that the one time you were talking about when you guys went to the Panama Canal, or was that a different one? Different sailboat.
That sailboat, I bought that 54-foot Hunter out in Frisco, and I sailed it through the canal by myself.
Holy crap.
Well, that 54-footer had self-furling sails, and all the lines were right there at the destroyer helm. I mean, you could pretty much sail it your goddamn self. You just have to go knock a few chalk blocks out once in a while or move something around. But other than that, fuck, you could sail it right there from the destroyer helm. It was a lot of work, because pulling on those cords, you know, ain't the easiest thing.
Well, you gotta know what you're doing too.
Well, kinda. You gotta know which one to be grabbing. But once you get a boat going in a direction that makes sense, even if you got a tack, you know, when you're by yourself, if you do longer tacks, it's easier because you're not tacking so hard. It might take you a little bit longer to get there, but you know, you're wind powered, so you're not burning fuel.
Right.
So.
Burn nothing but time.
Right. So you know, you could tack a little further out and a little further in, so you wasn't so hard on you. And that's also the boat that I sailed all the way around here to Savannah, and then I sailed it all the way around the Horn of South America when my daughter died.
What?
Oh yeah, that was fucking right. I was on a suicide mission, Todd. I was hell bent on going to where my daughter was, bro. Yeah, I mean, I didn't care. I got in that boat, sailed off the shore, didn't look in it, didn't care. Had very little water, had very little food on the boat, and cases of liquor, so I just became a drunk and caught a fish. And I remember biting out of it just raw, wiggling, just because I was starving and needed fluids. Wow, I was in rough shape for a minute out there, but I didn't care.
Wow.
And then the boat stopped one day, and I said, wow, in my drunk stupor, there was an island. I said, well, lo and behold, Captain Blythe done it again. I said, I found an island. So I kind of waited for the tide to come in, eased back up off the tide had gone out and left my boat kind of sitting sideways, so I just waited for the tide and motored around the edge and found a dock and a little hotel. Great Exuma was I don't know how I got there, but I ended up there. I just put the sail up. I didn't tend it. I left the fucking line slack, so when the blew left, it blew left. When it blew right, it blew right. That's how I sail. I didn't care. I was just drunk. So I got a room and I headed to the bar, and my boat sat out there at the docks, and I had a pocket full of money. It didn't matter. I was just staying at the hotel and at the bar from as soon as it opened till it closed. And then the people, tourists, you know, a lot of boats and other people coming in and out of there. And one day, this girl comes up and she goes, in this really cute accent from Sweden, she goes, "Is that your boat, yeah?" I said, "Yeah, that's my boat." And they said, "Well, my two friends and I would like to clean it so we can make some money." I said, "Okay, go clean it." So all afternoon I was watching three girls clean the boat, and they were doing a great job scrubbing and polishing, and boy, it looked like a brand new boat when they were done with it. I'm going, wow. So she comes back and she goes, "The cabin is a mess." She goes, "Could we clean that and do your laundry?" I said, "Yeah, there's not much laundry, but yeah, I mean, you know, sheets and whatnot, sure." So off they went and did all that, and then the next day they came to me and they said, "Where are you going?" I said, "I'm going to go down to the end of South America." And they said, "Oh, it's the wrong time of year for that, huh?" I said, "Yeah, it's winter." I said, "That's what I'm waiting on. It's the worst weather that I can have." And they said, "Wow." So the next day they came up and they said, "Listen, she is an avid sailor and knows how to run your boat." She goes, "How about if we get you off the bar stool here and we go to another island?" I said, "Well, where are y'all trying to get?" And they said, "Our boat's going to leave Trinidad in 40 days. I said, "Okay, so let's head to Trinidad then." I was happy to get up off the bar stool, and the girl said, "I don't know what's happened to you." She goes, but we'll take care of you for a minute." I said, "Okay, cool." So I just took bottle after bottle on the boat, and off we sailed. They did all the sailing, the cooking, the cleaning, and I did my drinking. Just sat in the chair getting drunk all day. That's all I did. Just drunk, guzzle that rum. I was just being a drunken fool. Well,
Wow.
so for weeks we went through the island and ended up in Trinidad, actually. And then they left. That's where their tickets were out of. And then I headed to Rio de Janeiro and hung out there for a couple of weeks because it wasn't quite winter time. And then I just headed out. I mean, and when I got down there where it started getting cold, I didn't have any long clothes or anything, but I had an Argentina newspaper or two laying there, and I had some rain gear, so I duct taped the rain gear on me and shoved newspapers down between the rain gear and duct taped the rain gear on me because it started raining and really cold. And I'm going, well, okay, you got yourself into this, handle it. So the water started getting really rough. I'm heading south, and every kilometer was another rough wave coming, and I said, "This is getting really rough here." I said, "This is getting really tough here." That 54-footer was getting bounced all over the place, and I said, "Well, I wanted to die, so here I come, baby." So I duct taped my hands onto the destroyer helm wheel, and off I went. By the time I got out of it, like 43 hours later, I was a shivering, freezing, cold motherfucker, and I saw the coast of Peru, and I headed for it. And that boat nudged into the sand. I jumped over the board, swam to the beach, crawled up on it and kissed it, and said, "Okay, you suck, everything sucks. I'm sorry, my daughter's gone." And I got in the boat and continued around to Acapulco and hung out there for months. And then I sold the boat down there, and that was the end of that. I didn't die. Chicken shit.
Chicken shit.
You gotta give me credit. I tried though. Sailing around that motherfucker in the wintertime wasn't a joy. Come to find out, big boats never went around at that time of year just because it was so choppy and rough and undecisive and icebergs floating around and what the fuck.
Could you see shore the entire time?
No. I got ventured right out there because on a couple of tacks, and then I kind of went past the point. So I mean, because it come down to the
What point you got a zag?
Well, I kind of missed one, so I was way south of where I should have been. And I wasn't very good sailor. I mean, I was good enough to get somewheres, but I really like to see land on my side somewheres. You know,
Yeah.
I just, every time I got out there in the deep blue, it was like, oh fuck! I'd be looking at the compass, looking at this, looking at that, going, what the fuck? I hope I'm right. And I wasn't all the time, so I knew I was like tacking it pretty hard in the floor. I was a cold motherfucker. Thank God there was an LP tank full and a little stove worked down in the cabin.
Wow.
So, yeah, so I had heat a little bit. I mean, it had a heater like in the wall.
When you could cook some fish.
Yeah, oh yeah, I started catching fish and eating, and I was all right. I stopped at the first village that made sense and stocked down some food for the rest of the trip. Ate like a piglet. Stayed there for, I don't know, 5 or 6 days, and all I did was eat at restaurants, bro. I was hungry as a motherfucker.
Was that in Peru?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then I came around the coast and ended up in Buenaventura, Colombia. And that was really nice, actually. Yep. On the way, I stayed there. Buenaventura, Colombia is a big college town, and they have a nude beach there. Wow. Couldn't get off the beach, bro.
Yeah, he couldn't get off the beach.
No, those Colombian girls were so pretty. Hey. BT's over there playing. Well, it hasn't got as hot out today.
I know, boy, howdy.
Yet. But don't forget, noon sun comes at 1:30 or something today, so
Yeah.
that's when it gets hot. Alicia! I wonder where she went.